my name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And we live in times of, I would say, great mental unhealth, right? We live in a mental health crisis, and we really genuinely do. This video is an example of it. It's really tied into sexuality. Look, the bottom line is this. I think one of the things listen, there's lots of problems we have. Look, having unlimited free porn from the time that you can breathe, probably not the best of things, right? Probably best not to expose children to pornography. Don't you remember, like there was a time when we would try and not do that, and now it's like, yeah, I think the trade was this, where that was, we were suddenly presented unlimited free porn, and we were like, yeah, okay. Do you remember the episode of Friends where they had a cable channel that went to the porn channel that was unfiltered, right? And they had free porn, right? So they wouldn't change the channel. That was yeah. So I think that's what happened to society in general. Now, like, who on earth funded all this unlimited free porn? I'm thinking the intelligence services. That's really my guess, right? I don't know, because I don't think it's done well for us. That and the social media, growing up with it, I just don't think it's been good for the kids, which is what we're about to see here now. Yeah, another thing so you have that as a factor. Another factor is that because we have less social interaction in real life, like everything's much more virtual, especially for kids. They don't know how to do it, and there's a lack of, I think, of a force of a drive to get over one's fears, right? I think when one is faced with fear, you're taught to retreat from it and cower in a ball and say, oh, you're stunning and brave for doing that. Again, that is what this video is about. There was an article on Nerdist about how Doctor Who has always been queer. It's really an article about asexuality, and to my mind, asexuality sounds like a disability. I think if you have a vitally important part of your life, which is one's sex life, that is non-functioning, then it's like having your legs not working or your eyes not working. It's not saying they go, yay! Oh! I think it's a problem, right? And I think, honestly, I don't think it's a big problem. I just think it's that people are afraid to put themselves out. Again, normal heterosexual people are afraid to put themselves out and ask somebody out on a date. And I don't think women know how to respond to that. We've got a lot of social weirdness going on, which I think is what caused this article. Anyway, this was from a live stream I did last night. I have no idea when this video is going, but I did the live stream last night. Anyway, join me on a live stream. We take the piss. We have fun. We chortle quite a lot. And also rant and rave, which is about what you're about to hear. Fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment. You can find me. I stream onto Twitter, onto Rumble. Rumble's the best platform for me, so if you want to join me on Rumble, that's fantastic. And YouTube, obviously. I put videos onto Facebook. Look at the videos, all my socials there. Sign up my Substack, my email newsletter. I'm putting this out on YouTube, but the MP3 version will be available. This is a book on tape of millennial rights, which is awesome, right? It is awesome. It's written by the late lamented Craig Hinton. It's all about Y2K and the Sixth Doctor and the Valiard and great intelligence. It's really great, right? So it's a book on tape read by an AI clone of Colin Baker. Sounds like Colin Baker's reading it to me, right? It really does. I've really enjoyed making it because I've enjoyed listening to it. So you get that through my Substack. Also, it'll be on my YouTube. So fine, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. Now let me hand over to me from last night. Nerdist, always a rich source of complete and total bullshit, right? A rich source of complete and total bullshit. Man, I'm 21 days behind getting to this article. I've been sick, baby. What can I tell you? This is insanity, right? This is insanity. The complex, Doctor Who explores the rich complexity of asexuality. No, it fucking doesn't! It never has. It's just that the Doctor didn't want to fuck his companions or a random Dalek, right? Yeah, no. Doctor, no. In fact, asexuality is, in my mind, I think it's proliferated when idiot kids became too terrified to ask a girl out, right? And I really do. I think it's idiot kids became way too terrified to ask her to be, do normal human courting because we're too busy doing all the other weird shit and when I say weird shit, driving around naked on bicycles and twerking in front of children. Yeah, that's called weird shit. Okay. Prime Month is the perfect time to talk about Doctor Who's titular character, the Doctor, and their sexual identity. Yes, the Doctor didn't have a sexual identity. In fact, no hanky-panky in the TARDIS is what John Nathan Turner said. Mind you. Who had more sex while making Doctor Who? John Nathan Turner or Russell T Davies, right? I mean, I don't know. Those Brighton parters were quite famous. A growing number of fans read the Doctor Who's as asexual or ace. It's not ace to be terrified to touch somebody of the opposite fucking sex. It's not ace. It's not a good thing. It's like then you got a handicap. Having sex is good. Let me tell you. I mean, listen. I am a big. Again, I started thinking about this because of Pride this year. Because we're grooming kids into weird shit. Say, oh, you're scared to ask a girl, you're ace, right? No, we're grooming kids into weird shit. But I think the grooming started 60s and 70s when we groomed ourselves. And again, I never considered this before. We groomed ourselves to consider that sex outside of marriage or outside of a committed relationship or a relationship even was a good thing that will make your life better. No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, it's fun. It's fun, but I think you feel kind of dirty after a while as well, right? I don't think. I mean, again, here's the trouble. When you're 16, your hormones are going crazy, and you want to have a lot of sex, and the idea of just sex makes you feel like that. That's if you're normal, or not one of these weirdos. So I think we got trapped into it. But honestly, I women certainly, and I don't think men, their lives are better from casual sex. I really don't. I think their lives are worse from it. An asexual person typically experiences little to no sexual desire, or they're just fucking terrified, attraction to anyone. And because, again, it's called fear. And because there's so many iterations of the same character, they represent different flavors of the ace spectrum. No, they don't. Believe me. Tom Baker was an ace, right? Tom Baker wasn't an ace. I have an apocryphal story that when Tom Baker hooked up with a young lady, or when he would hook up with a young lady, and he was about to, how can I put this? Enter her zero room, right? He would say, "Tom's going in." I've heard that from more than one source. Each regeneration comes with a new take on the same being. Well, until we got to Jodie Whittaker, which is just like, look at the gormless expression on her idiot face. I mean, it's just the casting of her is unbelievably bad. And God, is Shooty going to be worse? I don't fucking know. That's what we'll do next. We'll do the location stuff next, and then we'll do Star Trek. Fine. Each regeneration comes with a new take on the same being. The way they express themselves varies according to the Doctor's specific personality. But also, I mean, right up until 2005, we were all kind of sexually secure enough not to have the sexual lives of each character of our heroes, right? In fact, if you watch Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, when they have like this romance with what's her name, Willie, Indiana Jones's Steven Spielberg's wife. Is it Kate Capture? I can't remember. Right? Go and watch that movie again. It's brilliant, right? But the sexual interplay with them is so innocent, right? It's more what kids would think. Kids think grown-ups kiss each other. They don't really get it, right? And that's really a template, right, of how to do it. It's a wonderful, though, fictional proof. There is more ways than one to be sexy. No! This was never about, look, don't get me wrong. I like this a lot, right? I like this a lot. If you're wanking off over this, you need help, right? Again, and if you are wanking off, I don't feel bad about yourself. I don't want to bring shame on anyone. But again, that's not designed to be sexy, apart from if you're Lala Ward. Boy, you go and watch City of Death. You have never seen a wetter companion, right? She's literally, when she's sitting in the in a cafe, grinding herself on the chair because, and she dresses like a schoolgirl. She is so into Tom Baker at that point. There's more than one way to be sexy, to be ace, to be queer. No, there's one way to be queer. You like to fuck people who are the same sex as you. That's the way to be queer, right? I think that's how it works. Oh! The Doctor, more than anything, is an explorer. Okay, a fundamental important aspect of queerness. Fuck me. Why does everything have to be connected with fucking queerness? Fucking idiots. Regeneration, expression of aceness, and the Master's relationship. Okay, firstly, the Master, especially the alien one, was a gay rapist, right? Lots of bondage fantasies going on with Adric and the Master, right? I do think John Nathan Turner had a hand in that. I think he had a hand somewhere else as well. Sexuality exists through a person's lifetime. No, it fucking doesn't! No, it doesn't, right? I like fucking women. I will always like fucking women. I've never wanted to fuck a guy. I've never wanted to kiss a guy. You want to kiss? You want to fuck a guy? You want to get? God bless you. I got nothing against you. It's never, ever, ever gonna fucking change. I'm not scared of it changing. I'm more scared of like having gay sex. Yes. My biggest fear is being raped in prison, right? Like, no. Fucking weirdos. Oh. The way I express sexuality constantly... No, it fucking doesn't. The way I express my sexuality, I have sex with my wife. Right? As long as she, puts the flag up. Isn't explicit and can't be fully understood by mere human concept. Yes, it fucking can! You put a penis into a fucking vagina. That's called being straight. If you're gay, you put a penis into a fucking asshole. That's called being queer. That's all it is. Ah! Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Although the evolution isn't linear, it's not an evolution because it's not happening. Each Doctor's personality is essentially a response to their previous selves. No, it's okay. The Doctor is basically always on the cutting edge of cool. He's like an anti-establishment, anti-authoritarian authority. That's who the Doctor is, and he's always got to be very cool, right? So you look through the history of the Doctor. We have William Hartnell. He was like this weird. He was very authoritarian. He was this old man, like with a weird white hair, and he was a naughty boy who liked to cause trouble, right? And he was a hero, right? Patrick Troughton. He had a mop top. Him and Fraser Hines. They had a mop top. Best bromance and Doctor Who ever, right? Very, very cool. Then because of regeneration, Doctor Who got to move with the times, right? And he had John Pertwee. John Pertwee was insanely cool in the 1970s. He was, only a few people can wear a velvet jacket and a dinner shirt and a bow tie. It's I would say Jimi Hendrix and John Pertwee, right? And John Pertwee was essentially James Bond of the time. Then fashions change again. You have the bohemian Tom Baker, and that's where Doctor Who really connected with a more student audience for the first time. Philip Hinchcliffe actively spoke about that. And then you had the somewhat less cool. I mean, you had Peter Davison, who again I think that really hit the 1980s, the early 80s. I just perfectly. Colin Baker. I liked his Doctor. I think he failed by not being super cool, right? I think that was his major failure. I honestly, that was the time to do a black Doctor, right? Could you imagine a young Patterson Joseph in a black leather coat? That would have been cool. That would have been cutting edge. But still, it was awfully contemporary. Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy finally found some coolness in his last couple of seasons. And I think McGann was more of a pastiche. Then you had I think very 2000s Christopher Eccleston. It was basically a very pared down Doctor Who, very shameless meets Doctor Who, right? And then you lean straight into Doctor into the traditional Doctor with David Tennant. But again, pinstripe suit, thin, long coat. Matt Smith, same thing. Peter Capaldi, and then it's got to be contemporary, right? But none of them again. What the fuck? Okay, fine. So no, it's not a reaction to their previous selves. Fucking moron. It's a reaction to what would work for the actor at the time. Sydney, almost all the readers ace. No, we just didn't need to know about how a doctor liked to have his dick sucked by a boy or a girl. It wasn't part of the show. Again, you look back though in hindsight, boy, City of Death, Alala Ward was dripping wet. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a hand was an upper skirt in between takes, or maybe on camera a few times. No two doctors are the same, nor are their orientations. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We don't care, right? We don't care about the... Basically, outgrew that. Their expression of atheist even fluctuates between different species. What? Their thought relationship with other Time Lords, particularly the Master, is barely comparable to their asexual human... What the fuck? Okay, look, darling, this is what you need to do, right? Okay, let me explain. Is this a boy or girl I'm talking to? I mean, obviously, trans women are women. It's Lena. Okay, Lena, fine. Lena, you live in a world with pussies, right? You need to find a guy who finds you attractive enough to take the personal risk to say, would you like to come out for a drink? Right? You'll need to find somebody who is attractive enough to go ahead and do that. Right? And nobody has, because my guess is you're probably a fat, ugly, lonely cunt. Right? I don't know. I've never met you. My guess is fat, ugly, lonely cunt. Do we have Twitter here? Let's have a look. Please be a purple-haired weirdo, okay? Come on. Yes. The defense rests. Listen, by the way, if you're ever on the tube, right, if you're ever on a time when you get an erection and you don't want it, here, please just bookmark this. This will do the trick. This will make it all go down very quickly. Psst. And that is why you're ace, darling. That's why you're ace. Try and put some makeup on, okay? Listen, you can pour perfume on a pig, let me tell you, and it works. All right. The Doctor is often put at odds with the Master in a power struggle. Much more with Adric, baby. Their influential interactions take on a submissive, sadomasochistic subtext. Well, I do agree with you there. That the modern era is made entirely textual. Okay. The first female Doctor having to kneel in front... Oh, fuck off. That's not Doctor Who. Kneel in front of the Master is the entire bag of cats to unpack. Yeah, I get the feeling that you want somebody to do you want somebody powerful to do that to you, right? That's the vibe I get. Please don't contact any of the people. It won't work out well. But the scene made it clear that Dr. Master relationship has always had a sexual undercurrent. Now, I put that in because I thought it was funny. No, it fucking hadn't, right? Listen. I don't see Ainley giving Delgado giving a reach round to Pertwee. Right, I just don't see that happening, mate. Right? Again, you want to see a companion horny for the Doctor, Joe Grant to the Third Doctor. Oh yes. It's unlike anything that the Doctor experiences with anyone else. No, they've had a long relationship. That actually was quite good in the the Capaldi's second year Dalek story, right? Asexuality, classic Doctor. It was always sexual because not everything had to be sexual all the fucking time. You fucking pervert weirdos. Well, new Doctor Who can show I don't think I'm going to get to Star Trek tonight because I still got to do the production stuff. Well, new Doctor Who can show repulsion, curiosity, and positivity about sex. Never happened. I mean, repulsion. He turned down Jackie Tyler, which I kind of get, and not at the same time. Especially 2005 Camille Kadori, very hot, right? And really, look, sex really came into it with Russell E. Davies, who, let's face it, really, really is into sex, right? As a whole, it didn't really have an interest in the original run. Purposely avoids the idea of the Doctor's sexuality. Whoa, what a good idea that. Why? Because you're dealing with fucking kids, you fucking pervert morons! That's why! Let's avoid the Doctor's sexuality. Why? Why don't we? No, let's see Colin Baker get anally fisted by Syl. Yes. Oh, the kids will love it, right? Oh, thank God nobody mentioned that to John Nathan Turner. That would have happened. Which made more sense considering the origins of children's sci-fi TV show meant for Saturday afternoon tea time. Yes. And was life worse for that? Really? Was it worse for that? This overall ambiguity extends to Doctor Who's origins as well. Well, yeah, because it was supposed to be a mystery. Idiots. The revelation that, of the character of an alien didn't surface until the end of the season's second run. What? The revelation that character is an alien. No, I'm from another time, another world. In the first episode. Oh, fuck me. That restaurant, some dumb cunt, must be really full. Right? However, that's the first time we saw them, heard them. However, it was always otherworldly with intelligence far beyond the mid-century human. And there were so many other things to do, planets to save, that sex isn't interesting enough to warrant attention. Yes! That's the thing, right? Like, how about sex being private again? Was the world worse for sex being private? I don't think so. The idea, the Doctor is more curious about causing and preventing catastrophe than hooking up with historical figures or aliens. However, the idea that romance is on board the TARDIS from the start, it shows up through parents like Ian and Barbara, very innocently, okay? And the Doctor's later we see Ben and Polly. Yes, we see normal human males and females attracted to each other like the other 97% of fucking humanity, you weirdos. The third and fourth Doctors set the standard for one-on-one Doctor and female companions pairings, which became more popular in the new era. But the third Doctor in particular, patrician figure, while the fourth Doctor seemed entirely oblivious to it. That's what I liked about him. He had this Olympian detachment, even though they pretend they don't know what that means. It was wonderful. Yes, it was good. And again, why are you pushing the stress of sexuality on 6-year-olds? Right? I think it's because you're sexually inadequate, all of you. Now, why do I think you're sexually inadequate? Oh, who knows why? For example, when speaking to the countess in City of Death, he's famously says, "You're a beautiful woman," probably. Exactly, it was wonderful. The young and blonde fifth Doctor posed a question of how sexuality would play into the series going forward, and the answer was fairly plain too. Not applicable. Fans of the 80s may be familiar with the John Nathan Turner's infamous plays "No Hanky Panky in the TARDIS," and again, was life better or worse for that? Now, in particular, there are particularly special relationships with a number of companions in the classic era, like Jamie, Jo, Nyssa, Perry, and Ace. But the question of sexuality never came up within the shows. I'm surprised I'm not saying the second Doctor and Jamie were bumming each other in the TARDIS. I mean, yeah, in a beautiful, passionate way. The wilderness years of attraction. During the wilderness years, authorized Doctor Who novels detailed Time Lord reproduction. Well, okay. In an asexual way. I mean, for example. But, like, okay, the New Adventures was a different era, right? Because it was the grown-ups were out the room. We thought we were grown up when we were 18, right? And we were, like, bold and doing new, interesting things. Yay! Now Doctor's going to be grown up, right? And I don't know. I like the New Adventures a lot, right? I do like the New Adventures a lot. There was quite a lot of uncomfortable insertion of sexuality into it, right? I didn't really mind the increased gay content, the LBG content. I kind of like Quedge as the companion, and he was bi, I think. I can't remember, right? And they certainly dealt with that in Rusty Davis's Damaged Goods, which I found very good. Matrix and Looms, where we have to. This description includes a non-sexy at all combination of the Matrix and Looms, or just the Looms. Breeding chambers where the Time Lords were grown. Yeah, and I like the whole like Time Lord family. You had like 12 members of the family, and they got looms each. We're up to, thereby reinforcing Doctor ambivalence towards sex. It was a good idea. However, the explosion of deep lore Doctor Who content during this time Also features audios of the Eighth Doctor and a famously complex romance with Charlie. No, Charlie was kind of hot for him, but he wasn't that interested, right? No, the character is essentially the precursor and blueprint for Rose. I'll say Ace more is, quite frankly. The Big Finish audio Shazaria, one of the worst ones. So to tell you, they tried to do something interesting, but it was making like just a two-hander. They were caught in like this completely white, reality. Almost solely deals with the aftermath of Charlie confessing her love for the Eighth. I do remember that, actually. It highlights Eighth's reaction and his inability to define his feelings. The Eighth, yes, this was all, yes, a good thing. The Eighth Doctor is known as the romantic Doctor and the Byronic hero, but his unwillingness to actually engage in... No, he just looked like it. He looked hot, right? He made ladies' nether bits go all gooey, okay? That's what it was, which is what I think a Doctor should do. However, his unwillingness to engage in a relationship complicates this image. And basically you're saying Doctor's always been asexual. We have no evidence of it whatsoever, right? I'm just going to list every time I'm wrong. Like, this is not how you win an argument, darling. You don't write an article saying, this is this, and then you point out every reason why you're wrong. I mean, which we have quite a few. This exploratory era set the stage for the show's reboot while still leaving many questions open. No, they just didn't talk about it, right? Modern Doctors, sex jokes, and demisexuality. Yeah, listen, Russell, mate, we were fine in 2005. We live in weird fucking times, mate. We live in weird fucking times. Do I have this other clip still? Or did I get rid of it? Hang on. Yeah, okay. Another little snippet from Pride this weekend. Yeah, listen. That's probably not the best thing to say, right? Right? What about Lucy Miller? Actually, that's quite a good point. It says OTS starters. Oh, man, Lucy Miller's awesome. Right? Where are we up to? The newer Doctor Who takes the modern soap opera elements, including the more overt romantic storylines. Now, was this a good idea or not, right? I don't know. I like the first Doctor was somewhat asexual in that they didn't really deal with it, right? But they had Rose kind of hot for him, but the love story between the 10th Doctor and Rose, I always said for as a one-time thing, right? But I'm not sure it was a good idea at this point, right? I'm really not sure it was a good idea. But then Matt Smith, Doctor was great because he actively avoided it, right? But yeah, listen, it made it more modern. Like I like that they gave the Doctor more of a three-dimensional character, and they gave the companions lives, parents and and boyfriends. I thought that was all very good, and families. Sex, including jokes and risque situations, is now part of the show. Yeah, listen, this all was through Captain Jack. Is it a good thing or not? At the time, it was fine. I don't think I'm up to it now, right? I think it's just, again, we're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children. I'm not that up for it, mate. Many of the Doctor's romantic relationships with companions are tantalizing, but not quite canon. It's a good thing. The show never crosses the line to exploring explicit sexual relationship. Given the Doctor's prime chance for sticking their nose into anything even remotely exciting, sex is still isn't on the list. Yes. Try and get that through your idiot head. By including more explicit content, the series either incidentally or on purpose highlights reading the Doctor as ace. Incidentally, I don't think it was done on purpose. And again, if you're too fucking scared to ask somebody out on a date, that's not ace. That's bad, right? That's bad for you. The Ninth Doctor loves Rose, but with the aftermath of the Time War, he couldn't explore the relationship with her. I think he loved her platonically, right? I think he loved the new lease of life that he got in her, right? I've always thought the Ninth Doctor range and Big Finish is just garbage now. I've stopped buying it, right? But something they could have really interestingly do is a box set where you have the Ninth Doctor freshly regenerated, and you get the first bit of Rose, right? And then you have then he leaves, and then he goes off and has an adventure, and then he has another adventure, and then he goes back to Rose at the end of that episode. But I think it'll be good to have him like really emotionally crushed by something, right? And I think and that's what Rose reawakens his love of life to, right? I think you could really interestingly explore that. Also, you could do a Dalek box set really easily by like having him find a Dalek virus, and he has to go into a virtual reality and fight the Daleks there, right? Dalek computer virus, right? You could again, but it's just boring shit. Boring shit about being Ace. Considering this, it makes sense that he regenerates as a more humanistic, emotional, and sexualized 10th Doctor again. Russell just loves having sex, right? And I think much of Doctor Who revolves around sex. That's why this new era, I'm not so sure about maybe. 10 is easily the incarnation who is most likely to be seen as allosexual. Read, experience sexual attraction. Okay. God, how much longer is this bullshit? Oh, thank God we're nearly done. However, his dismissal of sex and romance actually reaffirms his aces. God. Darling, you are desperately looking for validation, right? You are desperately looking for validation. No, find somebody you like, that you're attracted, man, woman, whatever it is, and then have a relation. Make yourself look pretty. How about that? Make yourself look pretty and attractive to whatever sex you want, and take the chance. Take the chance of like the emotional pain of being turned down, and put yourself out there. It will make your life better. Hiding behind saying, I'm Ace, will not. I'm sorry, and it just won't. You'll be 50, 60, 70 and have nothing in your life and die on your own, right? That's essentially what you're looking at, darling. What are you going to say then when you're dying on your own in a government care facility? I'm Ace. No, there's no way to live, mate. The point of sex is to cement human relationships, right? And a terror of that isn't going to help you. It's a pretty big contrast from his human counterpart, John Smith, in Human Nature and Family Blood. That was brilliant. Again, Paul Cornell, douchebag extraordinaire, right? A douchebag beyond douchebag. Absolutely. Can write bloody Doctor Who, though. Knows how to write Doctor Who, and I think knows how to write it very, very well. But yeah, I think Paul, and I think that was his great idea, and it was a very good idea. It was a genuinely good idea to have the Doctor become human, and especially the Seventh Doctor. That whole romance, it was perfect, right? It's possible that 10 is a variation of the demisexual. Oh, fuck off. No, again, this is how it works. Okay, you have a PP and you have a vagina, right? And you have an arsehole, right? I'll do this way for the arsehole, right? This way. You have arsehole, vagina, PP. If the PP likes going in the fucking vagina, it means you're straight. If it likes going in the arsehole, it means you're gay. That's it. The demisexual? No, I like being fucked in the arse by a man. Okay, that means you're gay. Oh, with interest in Rhodes only being their tight emotional bond, and Arthur's not feeling the connection with anybody else. Okay. 11 essentially plays in the idea of the Doctor being a potential boyfriend, but he doesn't understand. No, he doesn't. He becomes a mythic romantic figure in Amy Pond's life, and then hooks him up with Rory. In one of the early episodes, she attempts and fails to seduce him, and arc with his wife, River Song. Now, do you think Capaldi and River Song consummated their time there? I think probably yes, right? But I think it was smart enough to not deal with that at all. The Doctor goes into full swing during this era and the season finale, and is dedicated to their wedding throughout this. Oh God, what a wonderful piece of Doctor Who, right? I like Amy Pond's wedding speech where she brings the Doctor back from reality. I think we've got to watch that. I'm sorry. I think we've got to get that clip, okay? It is one of the all-time greatest moments in Doctor Who. And look, you might not like the new era, I did. Where is it? Hang on. Doink. Hang on. It's 11th Doctor, season 5. It's the Big Bang, isn't it? Yeah, Big Bang. Where is that scene?
The punch on.
By the way, just the music and the music playing backwards here is fantastic. Listen to this.
Let's make it a good one, eh? Because it was, you know. Would have had. The cracks are closing. Not closed properly.
Yeah, a second. Where is it? Where she's realised something's wrong. Hang on. Okay, where is this?
Last-minute adjustments to certain aspects.
Missing someone important, someone so important.
Amy, what's wrong?
Sorry. Sorry, everyone. But when I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend.
Oh, no, not this again.
The Raggedy Doctor. My Raggedy Doctor. He wasn't imaginary.
Hang on.
Back, I can bring you... I remember! I brought the others back. I can bring you home, too. Raggedy Man, I remember you, and you are late for my wedding! I found you. I found you to work like you knew I would. That's why you told me the story. The brand new ancient blue box. Oh, clever, very clever.
Amy, what is it?
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
It's the Doctor. How did we forget the Doctor? I was plastic. He was the strip artist.
I don't want to get copyright struck, so I'm going to stop it for a second.
Okay, Doctor. Did I surprise you this time?
Yeah. Completely astonished. Never expected that.
How lucky I...
And then look at that. Just there. We see love. We see love without it being fucking sexual. Look at that. It's what? Yes. You can connect to somebody on a deep emotional level without wanting your dick sucked.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amy's imaginary friend. But I came anyway.
You absolutely, definitely may kiss the bride.
Amelia, from now on, I shall be leaving the kissing duties to the...
Okay, just perfect, Doctor Who. I'm sorry. That is just perfect, Doctor Who. I freaking loved it. Okay, let's go back to that nonsense. Oh, yeah, I feel better. Oh, I feel like I've detoxified from this idiocy. 11th fellow, I'm not oblivious to sex, and it's not particularly interesting. Yes, the way the Doctor should be. While receive displays of passion from River, he never seeks them out. How much longer? Fine, 12. Okay, fine. Let's get to that. The conclusion of the relationship with River specifically is framed as a romantic partner. That is true. Reflects deep feelings and loss, and is perhaps the most intense demisexual. There is no demi-fucking sexual fuckingality. You either want to fuck an ass or you want to fuck a vagina. That's your fucking choice. Conversely, 13 wants to cultivate a family atmosphere. She doesn't. She spends the time readjusting to her gender. No, she does. She doesn't notice it. And seems unaware of Yas's growing feelings for her. Well, Yas does literally have a masturbation scene looking at a hologram of the Doctor at one point in Flux. So, you can take it that way. The Doctor's appeal to many aces as proof that life can be active, exciting, fulfilling without sex. You're wrong. You're wrong. Life will not be fulfilling, exciting, active without that most important fundamental biological drive. No, Your life will be lonely. Your life will be empty. Your life will be devoid. Get help, right? It's mental illness, I think. If YouTube says it isn't, I'm wrong. But get help. Along with all the negative traits that make a three-dimensional character, fluid identity and queerness are integral parts of Doctor. No, they're not. As a show within its central character, you are a fucking moron, darling. Right? Absolute moron. Oh, agonizing moron. Right? It just is. You just are. I hate. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet! Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.